Continuing on my table build, I put together these legs yesterday. These legs were made from some wood that is from a Sissoo, also known as an Indian Rosewood. This is the sapwood, so it's the lighter colored stuff that isn't as nice. And so I just used it as an armature. So something quick and dirty. Just milled down the lumber down to like 1.5 inches thick. Now the plan is that I will cover it with that jute mat in some way that I haven't quite figured out exactly what it's going to look like, and then ultimately cover all of that in the geopolymer. And I've been debating about whether I just continue with the same decomposed granite mix for the aggregate, or do I want to use woodcrete for this, or what exactly do I want to do here? So I haven't decided those details yet. I was happy to see that the top, which is about 1/2 inch thick, released from the mold without me even having to unscrew the mold and do anything to get it out. It just dropped right out, so it was nice. That was good. I guess Pam really did the trick there. And part of my motivation beyond just trying to make something that looks cool here is that I am also wanting to see how well the geopolymer will bind to the wood and to the jute and then back to itself. So I will certainly clean the top of this off before I do so. I think the residue you see there is essentially almost like a soap type material that happened when the alkali environment of the geopolymer mixed with PAM. PAM is oil, so obviously you get some kind of oil with the alkali media, and you're going to end up with saponification happening. And you can see the surface of it, those bubbles and imperfections and things. That's just where the plastic wrap was. So, that's not too surprising that it ended up that way. But I left it completely wrapped for a few days before I unwrapped it, which of course means that the geopolymer didn't crack. That is one issue that you can have with geopolymers, that they will crack if they evaporate too quickly. And you can actually see that even with just the silicate. So one of the other things that I did, just as a side, I got this kitchen cart from Costco for my wife's ceramics, and in it were all of these pieces of honeycomb cardboard. And I have thought about how you could use the honeycomb cardboard to reinforce a geopolymer panel. The honeycomb cardboard has really good compressive strength, not really obviously flexural strength, although the flexural strength is a function of how well the skin is adhered to the honeycomb. But I painted this with a sodium silicate solution to help it bond with the geopolymer when I get there. And you can see that the surface, well, maybe you can't see it very well, but you might be able to see that there's some cracks. So it's the same kind of thing that when you're, in this case, it's just that the silicate, as it loses the moisture, is going to shrink a little bit and crack. And I think that's the same thing that happens with the geopolymer. When it's sticky. When it evaporates too quickly, you just get a cracking of some of the material, but you don't really get the polymerization that then holds everything together. So that's why it's important to keep it moist and hydrated while it's curing. All right, we will see what this looks like when I get done.